into a comfortable cross-legged seat. I have a cushion underneath my seat. I woke up with tight hips this morning. So if you sit and you notice that your knees are higher than your hips, just lift your hips. That'll give those hip flexors permission, so to speak, to open, excuse me, and to unwind. And as you find your seat, invite your eyes to close. Take a moment here just to really examine the way that you're feeling this morning. And start by tuning in with your lower body, noticing how your feet are feeling. And at this moment, we're not trying to change anything. We're simply observing. So bringing that awareness upwards now to your ankles and shins. Upwards from the low legs now to your knees and thighs. And checking in, notice if you're holding tension in your hips, in your glutes, the seats of your body. And let this awareness travel upwards now, checking in with your low back. Checking in with your low belly, abdomen. Bringing that awareness now to the center of your chest. Back to the center of your back body. Let that awareness here travel upwards to the shoulders, shoulder blades on your back, the tops of your shoulders. Let that awareness circle forwards to the top of your chest. Notice if you're holding tension here. And here, bringing awareness from the hips to the armpits, the side body. Letting that awareness shine down now from the shoulders to your arms, noticing the upper arms to your elbows. Elbows to your wrists. And noticing the palms and the backs of your hands. Noticing now the neck, the front, sides and back of your neck. Noticing your teeth and jaw. Notice if you're gripping your teeth. That awareness now come into your temples, your eyelids, the head, into the space of full body awareness. Notice the way your breath is moving. Again, not trying to change. Sometimes, though, what we observe will change just because we're observing. Just noticing. Notice if there's gripping in your body, resisting your inhale or your exhale. And checking in, observing your energy level. Observing the thoughts that may have been circling in your mind before we began practice, or maybe still. And checking in with your emotion. So beginning today with just a moment of pure mindfulness, pure awareness. And with this full knowledge of everything that's going on with yourself this morning, allow yourself to set an intention for your practice. It could be as simple as moving joyfully, as complicated as maintaining this deep awareness of the internal experience as we move. As you find your intention, invite both palms towards each other at heart center. And we'll join our voices in the sound of Om, both to affirm our own intentions and to uplift and support the intentions of those with whom we practice. As you're ready, feel free to listen or to join. We'll inhale for the sound of Om. Om. And as you exhale next, release your chin in, settle your palms down. Allow your eyes to open. And here we'll transition to your back body, coming to lie on your back with your strap, scarf, or belt close by. Sorry, Denise, I asked you to unmute. I pressed the wrong button. So we're all coming to lie on our spine. Lying down on your back, take a hold of your scarf or strap. Okay, as you come to your back, apologies, I lost connection there for a moment. As you come to your back body, bend into your knees, point both feet up towards the ceiling. And again, that strap or blocker scarf is close by. This needs to be in your hands. Yeah, just invite one knee towards your chest. Interlace your fingers behind that thigh. Find some movement into the toes of your lifted leg. Moving here into the toes. Make some space between the toes and then begin to rotate into that ankle. And we'll rotate in the opposite direction. So just noticing here, noticing the tension you might be holding in your foot, your ankle. Begin to point and flex this lifted leg. Pointing the toes up and then pressing the heel up. Moving here with your breath. Good. Let's exhale. Release this leg long. So let that leg come down, lengthen outwards, heel down, toes pointing up. Opposite knee is going to stay bent. Take your long leg and soften the toes from side to side. And as you're ready, we'll bend here into this long leg. Bring your opposite leg in towards your chest. Support that leg behind the thigh with your hands. And just find here some movement into your toes. Wiggling each toe, really trying to spread your toes wide. Find some space between your toes. And then we'll inhale, point the toes upward. Exhale, press the heel upward. So moving between pointing and flexing your lifted foot.
Your sound is choppy.
Oh, thanks, Tom. Okay, we'll try this. Thanks for unmuting and letting me know. So moving here from these ankle rotations, moving in both directions, rotating into your ankle. We'll begin here to settle this lifted leg long on your yoga mat, heel down, toes up. Keeping your opposite knee bent, just find a softening side to side, the toes of the lifted leg. And as you're ready, we'll bring this knee in, settle this foot down onto the ground. Taking now a hold of your belt or strap or scarf. That belt or strap or scarf into your hand. Bring the first leg, that first knee, in towards your chest. Loop the scarf around the fleshy area beneath the toes, so the ball of the foot. Take care to keep the strap out of your foot's arch. So really we want the foot in the, or the strap in the ball of the foot. As you find that, straighten your leg here, and hopefully you have enough length in your belt or scarf or strap that you can rest both elbows on the ground here. So we want our shoulders certainly in the ground, back of our head in the ground. Ideally the elbows are down, but if your strap is shorter, that's okay. Do try to keep, though, the back of the shoulder blades on the ground as you straighten your leg here. And we'll just play here with just a gentle rocking movement side to side. Leg is fairly straight. We do want to take care to keep this stretch, this sensation, out of the back of the knee. So if you're feeling a sensation there, maybe just bend your knee ever so slightly. That will ease off the pressure and the tension of tight hamstrings and begin to send this stretch more into your muscles. And so leg stays fairly straight. We're just rocking here, forwards and backwards. You could stay here with the opposite knee bent, or you could straighten that opposite leg long. Staying centered with your breath as you move here. Let's begin to find a center now, a center of this movement. And as we come center, begin to press through the heel of your lifted leg. Draw those toes in towards your knee. Find a deep inhale, full exhale. Let yourself come back to this idea of an awareness of sensation. So if it's helpful here to close the eyes to do that, go ahead and close your eyes. Send your awareness inwards. And just notice the way your body feels as you hold this shape. Notice the way your breath is moving as you hold this shape. And if the eyes are closed here, we'll open them, keeping everything the same. So strap still settled firmly in the ball of your foot. Sole of your foot still parallel to the ceiling. This headset I'm wearing is not designed to be lying down while you're wearing it. So that's why the issues. We're going to take the strap into the same hand as your lifted foot. Keep pressing through that lifted ankle, and on an exhale, we'll open your foot out to its same side. So if it's your right foot, we're going to open to the right. Now, you don't need to bring the right foot to the ground as we open here. Keep pressing through your heel. Keep that hand holding the strap, drawing back towards your body. That's going to be your support as you come to your edge here. And you'll know you found your edge if your breath starts to hitch, you've gone beyond your edge. So bring that foot into a position where you can continue to breathe steadily here. Big inhale. Full, complete exhale. Good. Another couple really present breaths here. So for these longer holds, sometimes the mind likes to wander. And what I would encourage you to work into your practice today is this mindfulness. So instead of floating along, following the thoughts of the mind, allow yourself to step back into that seat of the observer and watch the thoughts. So not getting hooked, just observing what comes up. Use our next inhale, bring your leg back up through center. Switch the strap now so that it's being held by the opposite hand. Bring the hand that was just holding the strap down to the point where your leg connects with the ground, right? So it's almost like we're holding our butts here. We're not actually holding though, we're just kind of noticing that point of connection, skin to earth. Keep that point of connection as you gently cross your leg over your body. So we're not going to make this a big dramatic pull of the leg that's going to pull your hip up. We're really going to keep that hip connecting to the ground. That action of leg crossing a body is going to be limited because of that. So because that hip is down, we're not going to have that huge movement in the outer body. Chances are, though, you're working into an area of tightness. This isn't a stretch that most of us get in our everyday lives. So again, we're looking for that point of sensation where the breath can still move easily. Notice your body's response to holding this shape. Notice where your mind goes. The next inhale, let's bring our leg back to center. As your leg returns to center, take a hold, please, of one end of your strap in each hand. Gently guide your leg out to its same side. So if it's right leg lifted, we're going to come ever so slightly out to the right. Pause here. From that action of moving outwards to the right, bring your leg closer to your torso. So it's going to be coming in towards its same armpit. So again, assuming it's the right, it's okay if it's not, but assuming it's your right leg coming in towards that same armpit, right armpit. Pause here. Bring your leg back inwards towards your midline and pause here, breathing here. Keep your leg where it is in space. Remove the belt strap or scarf that you're using. Bring your hands up to your leg. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, walk your hands as much as you comfortably can, bringing with your hands your shoulders and head here, lifting upwards here, breathing here. Exhale, release your upper body back to the mat. Lengthen this leg that's been lifted nice and long. Pause here, both legs long. Hands can be wherever they've landed comfortably. Let your eyes close. Just feel into the difference here, side to side. Notice the space that you've created with that little bit of stretching. Another deep, conscious breath here. Full, complete exhale. And as you're ready, we'll bend into both knees. Settle both feet, hips width distance apart on the ground. And as you settle both feet onto the ground, invite your opposite knee in towards your chest. Your opposite knee comes towards your chest. Take your strap, loop it again around the fleshy area. So the ball of your foot, fleshy area beneath the toes, taking care to keep that strap out of your foot's arch. And then extend this leg up towards the ceiling. And just find that very gentle forwards and backwards. So right now, we're really not using the strap to pull. We don't want to pull to stretch the muscles. We're just allowing for this gentle dynamic movement to begin to soften the fascia, to gently begin to stretch the muscles. So we never want to force in our yoga practice. We always want to be in a place where we're moving freely. Our breath, most importantly, is moving freely. And we're really being responsive to the sensations of the body. So again, here, if you're feeling this primarily behind your knees, just invite a little bit of a bend into the knee. It's going to take the tension off of your hamstrings and free you up, give you a little bit more space into which you can open. So next time your leg is coming closer to your torso, we'll begin to press into our hold. So this is our longer hold. And again, keep that healthy bend in your knee if you're feeling tugging in that knee joint. Begin to press through your lifted heel. Sole of the foot here parallel to the ceiling. Toes are pulling inward. So that means that you're pressing upwards into the ball of your foot, into the strap. Option to stay here, opposite knee bent, or straighten that other leg long, those toes pointing up to the ceiling. Breathing deeply here. From here, take both ends of the strap into the same hand as your lifted leg. Keep this action of pressing up through your heels, drawing your toes inwards. On an exhale, begin to open your leg to its same side. Give yourself permission here to be a little higher or lower than you were on the first side. Just understanding we don't always use our legs symmetrically. We very rarely use our body symmetrically, so you're going to need different stretches. And finding your edge, breathing here, just being really conscious of the body's experience of this asana. On an inhale, we'll move our straight leg back to center. Switch hands so the opposite hand is holding onto your strap. Guide the same hand as your lifted leg down to that point of contact, the base of your leg and the mat. And then we'll begin to gently cross your leg over your body, only so much as we can cross without pulling that hip away from the ground. And as you find the sensation here, allow yourself to go inward. If this is a particularly strong stretch, look for the spaces around the sensation into which your breath can move. And then an inhale, bring your leg back to center. Keep your leg lifted as you take one end of the strap into each hand. Guide your leg slightly away from your midline. Take a pause here. Bring your leg straight in towards your body from this guided away from the midline. Pause here. And then bring your leg back in towards the midline, holding here, breathing here. Big inhale here. Let your exhale be a release of the strap or scarf off to the side. Keep your leg lifted as you settle your support off to the side, and then bring your hands to your left. Walk your hands as high as they can comfortably go here while lifting your shoulders and head away from the ground. Big inhale here, holding for the exhale. Another big inhale, and let yourself settle down on the exhale. Lengthen your long leg down, pause here with both legs long. Eyes closed, just aware of this internal experience of stretch. Good, big inhale here. Exhale, settle your hands down by your side if they're not already. Bring both knees in towards your chest, holding in front of your knees. Find a little side to side movement here. We're going to prepare in a moment to bring ourselves to a seat. So if you know about your body that rolling lengthwise on your spine doesn't serve you, you're just going to bring yourself to one side, press yourself up to a seat. If you like that lengthwise roll, we're going to bring ourselves to that, rolling lengthwise on the spine and allowing for that momentum to bring you up to a seat. So either way, we'll all find our way back up to a seat, back up here and now. Good, keep that strap handy. We'll use that in a little bit, but not right now. So get it far out of your way as you need to. And bring yourself onto your belly, elbows down in the ground, finding our way here to our Sphinx pose. We want here a right angle of the elbows. So elbows landing directly beneath the shoulders. That means your heart is lifted. Your gaze is going to be forward to the wall in front of you. If this bothers your low back, if you're feeling a pinching there, just separate your heels slightly away from each other. That'll give you some space into your low back here. And whether those heels are hips width distance or wider, you're going to find a little movement in your hip side to side, just a little release. Let that movement still. And we'll begin to bend and straighten into opposite legs here. So we've done so far a lot of focus on releasing the muscles in the backs and the sides of your legs. And this stretch is going to allow us access to the quadriceps, those muscles of the thighs and the fronts of our legs. If this is already serving you, if you're already starting to feel a pretty significant stretch into your thighs, this might be the movement that you stay with, just this dynamic opening side to side. If you'd like some more stretch though, we're going to pause with, let's say, the right leg lifted. So pause with the right leg lifted. And again, ignore all this instruction if you've already been receiving the stretch you need. You're just going to continue with that movement. However, if we're going further with that right leg lifted, let's bring the right forearm parallel to the front of your mat. Reach back with the left hand, grab for that right foot with the left hand. Good, and we could stay gaze backwards, heart open to the side, or holding that bind, we can rotate forward. Breathing here. Go ahead and send that both arms forward if you had that bind. I'm realizing I told you the wrong hand to grab with, so that was probably might have been a little uncomfortable. So it'll be the left forearm parallel, same arm is going to reach backwards. So with that opposite arm back, we were feeling the stretch most likely more in the shoulder. With the same arm backwards, you have a little bit more control over how much you're going to bring that right foot in towards the right butt, the right glute. And at the same time, we're kicking the right foot into its same hand. That will really direct the stretch into your thigh. That's where we want to be. So breathing deeply here. Nice inhale. Let's exhale, releasing that right hand underneath the right shoulder, straighten into the right leg, bringing the sole of your foot to the ground. So coming back to our Sphinx here. In this Sphinx, let's keep both elbows down beneath your shoulders. I want you to take almost a cat movement in your upper back. So press into your elbows in the ground, round into your upper spine, curl inwards here, tuck your chin in, pressing the shoulder blades backwards, breathing here. And then we'll send the heart forward, gaze forward here. Bending now, left leg. So bending into the left knee, sending that left foot pointing upwards. Right arm now is going to come parallel to the front line of our mat, reaching back with the same hand, that left hand, grabbing for the left foot. And we could keep that open, gaze backwards, might rotate to look forward, shine your heart forward. And then just play, how close are we going to invite that left heel towards our glutes? If you're pulling the foot inwards, kick it back outwards into your hands. So you've got a little bit of isometric movement happening there with the muscles. And as always, we're breathing deeply. Good, nice big inhale here. Let's exhale, releasing that lifted leg down, releasing both legs down if you've been in dynamic movement. Good, again, finding that right angle, elbows have landed directly beneath the shoulders, palms are down. Keep your forearms and your palms in the ground, but lift your hips up and walk your knees in. So we're coming to a hands and forearms and knees position here. Curl your toes under here. Drop the weight of your head down, stretching into the back of your neck, breathing deeply. Let's bring your gaze down now. Palms are going to come down to the ground. So now we're on hands and knees, palms down, gaze down. Inhale here, lift one hand up towards the ceiling. Breathing here. Next, inhale, lower your lifted hand. Take a full breath cycle here in this neutral tabletop position. And on our next inhale, we'll lift our other hand upwards, breathing here. Let an inhale guide your upper hand down. Good, and here we'll come to a kneeling position. So kneeling cross-legged, really this is a pass-through. We're gonna come up to standing in a moment. So if kneeling's uncomfortable, don't force yourself to be there. What I'd really like to do is to bring ourselves to a tall kneeling position. Take a hold of your scarf strap or belt. Just let it rest around your neck, long edge hanging down on your side. And with the 10 toes curled under, you're going to bring one foot forward, keeping the back toes curled under. Hands are on the hips. Lean forward here. Press your back knee up. Bring yourself up to standing. Good. And again, we've got our little necklace of a scarf happening here. Bring your hands behind your back now. So hands are going to come behind the back. And what's happening is, I'm going to turn around so you can see, I'm guiding the strap to make an X. So I'm going to bring opposite ends of the strap to the hips. Now, depending on how long your belt or scarf is, you might not have this length. So just kind of playing here. If you have a little bit of length with ends of the straps, you're going to pull them away from your body. So you're kind of creating a little backpack sensation here. What this is doing is bringing your shoulders into a nice alignment, acting as a little massager for the tops of your shoulders. Take some nice deep breaths here. Good, big inhale here. Full, complete exhale. Another inhale. As you exhale, release the ends of your strap. Take that strap off, set it to one side. And if you're not there already, find your way to the top line of your yoga mat. From the top line of your yoga mat, sweep your fingers up. Use your exhale, lengthen down into your forward fold. Take a half lift here, fingers down or to your knees, spine lengthens long. Big inhale, exhale, soften in. Plant your palms on the ground and step your feet backwards, coming into our downward dog here, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Just as we did with one foot lifted, if you feel this is a tugging behind your knees, I really want to direct this stretch elsewhere. So if you're feeling this behind the knees, release the knees, allow them to bend, keep pressing your hips up and back. Consciously soften that space between the shoulder blades. Let your neck be long, head be heavy. Breathe deeply here. Allow for your arms to be extensions of your spine. Good, let's exhale, releasing both knees to the ground, pausing here in your hands and your knees. With those hands directly beneath your shoulders, spread your fingertips wide. Grip the ground with your finger pads. Good, with the toes curled under, use an inhale, lift those hips up and back, returning to the shape of our Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Keep pressing the palms of your hands down, lengthen your side body upwards here. Should be no wrinkles in your neck. Gaze should be back towards your toes. Use an inhale, lift your right foot up. Exhale, float your shoulders forward, bring your right knee in, then kick that right foot through your body, bringing the outer edge of the right foot to the ground. Press your hips back here. So breathing deeply here, right foot is on the ground, big toe up, pinky side edge of that foot down, both hips pressing back. And sometimes we do this as fallen angel, lifting a hand upwards. I really want to keep the focus on your legs today, so we're going to keep both hands down. Breathing deeply here. Good. On an inhale, let's unwind. Send that right foot underneath that same hip. Lower both knees to the ground here. And as your knees lower down to the ground, I'd like you to bring your fingers pointing towards your knees. So we're giving the wrists a stretch. And some of this heavy downward dog and tabletop work can do a number on our wrists. So stretching out here. Good, let's rotate those fingertips forward again. Settle your wrists directly beneath your shoulders, wider if you're feeling tension in your shoulders today. You might go wider than your yoga mat even. Curl your toes under, bring your hips up and back, returning to the shape of our downward dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Head heavy, neck long, spine long, breath steady. And let's bring the opposite foot lifted here. Nice big inhale, left foot lifting. Exhale, float forward, top of plank, left knee drawing in. Then kick the left foot between the right foot and the right hand. Press your hips backwards here, keeping both legs long. And so everything else remains the same as in our downward dog. Hands pressing down, hips lifting upward. Foot is through the body, breathing here. On an inhale, let's unwind, settling that left foot back to the ground. Bring here both knees down to the ground. And here we'll lift up into a seat. Lifting up into a seat. Good, bring your hands to one side, swing both feet in front of you. Both knees pointing up to the ceiling. Reach underneath your right leg, grab for your left ankle, invite that left heel by the right hip. That right heel might come directly inwards here. If you're comfortable taking a cross over your lower leg, go ahead and do that. So you might keep that right knee pointing upwards, but cross the foot over your left knee. And third option as we move towards our Gomukhasana is lifting that heel upwards and inviting that heel by its opposite hip so that the knees more or less center on each other. Take your hands, interlace them, settle them on your top knee. Roll your shoulders backwards, close your eyes here. And just bringing your awareness here to sensations here in our cow-faced pose. Notice if there are muscles that are gripping here that can perhaps release as you exhale. And allowing for your eyes to open here. Keep holding the right knee with the right hand. Stretch your left fingertips up to the ceiling. Bend into your left elbow. Send your hand into the curve of your neck here. So top edge of your hand should be connected with that lower curve of your skull. Chin is going to stay parallel to the ground. So we're not looking up or drawing the chin inwards, just looking straight ahead, chin parallel to the ground. Keep pointing that left elbow upwards. Now, if you know about yourself that you're going to have some space when you reach your other hand backwards, grab for that weighting strap or belt. Loop that strap or belt into your left hand, then reach your right hand backwards, grabbing for the bottom. Top elbow is going to point upwards. Bottom of your chin parallel to the ground. Spine long and gazes forward as we breathe here. If you're using a belt or a strap, give yourself as much space as you need to between your hands. And if you're not using the strap or the belt, you might just lightly join the hands if they're able to do so without pressing your head forward. Wherever we are here, find that steady breath. You might close your eyes, really going inwards to this felt experience of the pose. And on an exhale, let's release that strap, release both hands down, bring your hands back to your top knee. Using your hand, settle that top knee and heel in front of the right hip if it's not there already. Releasing your left heel in front of the left hip. And we'll take that cow face pose in the second side. So reaching beneath the left leg, grab for the right ankle. Invite that right ankle by your left hip. Left heel could come directly inwards or might take the cross with the knee pointing up. And if it's available to you today and you can do so without sitting on the heels, maybe that left heel wants to come back by the right hip, stacking knee over knee. Let's interlace your hands, settle them lightly on your top knee. Let your eyes close. And just go inwards, go into the sensation of stretch here. We really spent this class targeting those tighter muscles of the legs. Doing a little bit of shoulder work into, so just noticing. Notice how your body's holding tension. Notice how you can invite a release using your exhale. And here we'll open the eyes. Keep holding that left knee, that top knee with the left hand. Stretch your right fingertips up. Nice big inhale. Exhale, bend into your right elbow. Send the right hand behind your neck. Again, taking care to keep that nice space between your sternum and your chin. Right elbow is going to be looking up towards the sky. Right elbow reaching towards the sky. Good. So option 2, reach for that strap or belt. Settle it into the right fingertips. Let your left hand reach behind your back, grabbing for the lower end of that scarf or belt. Keep your gaze forward here, and using that strap or scarf, give yourself as much space as you need to allow for freedom in your jaw. So we want to avoid compression in the neck here. Nice steady breath, and always that option, if the fingers reach each other easily, to join them here. Steady breath here. Good, big inhale, holding for the exhale. Another nice inhale. And let's exhale, release your hands here, releasing that strap off to one side if you've been using it. Unwind your legs here, bring that left heel in front of your left hip. Right in front of the right hip. Here we'll find our way back to our hands and our knees. And as you come to your hands and your knees, you might, if you have it handy, throw a blanket underneath your knees. You might fold your mat, give yourself a little padding beneath your knees. Good. Here, bring your right foot forward. Coming into a low lunge here, we'll draw that right heel slightly backwards. Lift yourself up, taking a hold of your hips here. Good. So we might stay here. And in fact, if you have a history of knee injury, you're not going to go further here. In fact, you might even stay hands down if we have that history of knee injury. Just check in with your body. If you'd like to go further, though, take your right hand to the top of your right knee. Bend into your left knee. Bring that left heel towards your body and take a hold of the left foot with the left hand. So always checking in. We never want to go too far. Option to stay here or fix your gaze in a non-moving point, because here we're balancing. Take your right hand to the inner edge of that left foot, holding the foot with both hands. Maybe we'll stay here. Maybe we'll slide the left hand now to the outer edge of the right foot, freeing the right hand to reach up. Maybe that right hand can stretch and touch downwards here. Okay, so I've always known this as the screwdriver pose. Somebody told me earlier this week that it's sometimes called the crooked monkey, which I think I like a little better than screwdriver as far as yoga pose names goes. So wherever we are, whichever variation we've chosen to stop in, find that steady breath. If we have hold of that back foot, let's release that back foot down to the ground. Use an inhale, bring both hands on the inner edge of your right foot. Walk the right foot towards the outer edge of your mat, taking a nice deep breath here. Big inhale, full exhale. And on an inhale, let's bring that right knee back beneath the right hip, returning to our hands and our knees. And then coming back to our tall kneeling position. Tall kneeling. Good. Let's bring our left heel forward from this kneeling position. So left heel is going to come forward. Good. And again, so history of knee injury, we're going to stay hands down. We're going to turn this into a lunge. If you feel good here, pausing here. If you feel shaky, bring that front heel slightly inwards. So give yourself that sense of stability. Option to stay here or take that bend into the back foot, so that right knee. Reach back with your right hand, grab a hold of the right foot. Left hand could be on the left knee to stabilize. Good, and eyes here are probably not going to look at the screen. Instead, you're going to allow your eyes to fall on a non-moving point in your space, something steady. Allow your gaze to focus here, loop your concentration. Maybe now the left hand can reach backwards, grabbing for the inner edge of that right foot. And take these pauses. So in these more complicated asanas with a lot of steps, we really like to pause and check in. You might stay here. You might reach your left hand for the outer edge of the right foot. Free those left fingertips first up and then down, reaching for the ground. Right hand reaching down, left reaching back for the right foot. Gaze is over that back shoulder. Coming here into our crooked monkey or any variation thereof. Steady with your breath here. You have hold of that back foot, gently release your foot to the ground. Walk your left hand now on the inner edge of your left foot. Invite your left foot to the outer edge of your mat as you pause here in a variation of our lizard pose with long straight arms. Gaze down. Breath steady. And the next exhale, let's invite this knee underneath its same hip. uncurl your toes here. Send your hips towards your heels. Knees might stay inwards towards each other or might slide out to the edges of your mat. Let your brow point settle down in the ground here as your arms lengthen long, elbows soften down, coming into your pose of the child. Then an inhale very gently, keeping your inner gaze inward. Bring yourself up and then down to your back body. Sliding any blankets or straps out of your way and allow yourself to gently come to lying on your back. Legs long, hands down by your side. As your eyes close here, allow for the full weight of your body to be supported down. Allow for any remaining control over your breath to draw away. Let yourself rest deeply in this corpse pose, Shavasana. Allow for your awareness to gently return to this movement of breath within your body. Before you introduce any other movement into this internal space, come back to an awareness of the observer, watching your body breathe, watching your body rest. As you're ready, begin to find those small movements, fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. Coming as you're ready to a full body stretch, fingers back, toes forward. Invite your knees to your chest. Wrap your arms around your knees and allow yourself some movement side to side. Let yourself rest easy on one side. Coming as you're ready to press yourself up into a seat. And pausing here with your eyes closed, gaze inwards. And still in that seat of the observer, watching here the physical effects of your practice. Noticing the energetics in your body, the busyness or quietness of your mind, and checking in with your emotional self. And as you're ready, bring your palms towards each other. Thank yourself